Welcome to Lariat TV News. I'm Danica Young. We're right around the corner from a total solar eclipse, and Waco's the best place to be.
And I'm Giera Cottingham. Waco is the prime spot to watch the eclipse, but recently it hasn't been the safest place to keep your bike. There's a surge of motorized bikes and scooters being stolen on and around campus. LTVN's Danica Young tells you how one student took matters into his own hands to try and reclaim his property.
I know you stole my bike. It tracked it here. You can't lie.
Ethan Rossi lost his only form of transportation after locking up his bike at night on campus.
Got finessed out of my bike that way and never saw it again.
Baylor PD said they have seen a spike in motorized bikes and scooter thefts on campus this semester, and some students are taking matters into their own hands.
Me and my buddy had to kind of take care of it ourselves. I still had the air tag on it. It was updating every couple hours.
Rossi said he filed a police report the next day with BUPD, but they weren't able to help him because he didn't register his bike.
After that, I was basically on my own. Waco PD wouldn't help, Baylor PD wouldn't help.
Rossi said he was able to track his bike using an AirTag that led him to be what he described as a crack house in East Waco with other stolen bikes in it. And after 3 weeks of trying, he was unable to get his bike back.
Register your bike, because that was my own fault. I personally don't think they put up enough information about that, because I didn't even know until after I got my bike stolen that I had to register it.
BUPD says registering your bike is imperative to locating if stolen. However, scooters cannot be registered with Baylor Parking Services yet and recommends taking a picture or keeping track of your serial number.
If you don't have a serial number or if it hasn't been registered and you don't have much outside of a description, it makes it very difficult to follow up on.
To register bikes, visit baylor.edu/bike. For Lariat TV News, I'm Danica Young.
The city's favorite restaurant and bars will be more popular than ever this weekend leading up to the eclipse. And they have a plan. LTVN's Giera Cottingham got a taste of a few of theirs.
Yes, I'm here with Freight General Manager Amber Davis, and establishments like this one are awaiting thousands of people to show up, watch the eclipse, and potentially exceed their capacity. Now, Amber, what are you doing as a general manager to make sure that the establishment stays sane?
Overstaffing on Monday to make sure that I have plenty of staff members here to handle the crowd and IDing everybody, making sure that nobody's being overserved, making sure everybody's being taken care of as if they're the only one here.
Monday, April 8th, Waco will be one of the best cities to view the total eclipse, and Freight Bar is not the only hot spot getting ready for it.
Getting tons of people to work in the kitchen and also extra servers just to kind of help control the crowd.
Shorty's Pizza will also overstaff on Monday, and they have a plan.
We're actually going to have some officers and security guards out here to help control the crowd, because obviously it's a really small restaurant, and so we can't have, thousands of people just in here for the actual event.
And for those who want to view the moon's passing over the sun while enjoying a slice,
Pass out 50 solar eclipse classes for people who are actually here, who want to be here and watch the event here.
on the other hand, Echo and Waco's reservations are filling fast.
We are seeing a lot more for Monday. We will be fully staffed to provide the best service.
With the all-university holiday Dia del Oso also falling on Monday, Gonzalez reminds Baylor,
all Baylor students get 10% off here at Echo. And so does the staff. You just gotta show your Baylor ID. So just another cool thing for Baylor Dia, so we can go more crazy.
The eclipse being just days away, the managers are awaiting the dark outdoors display.
I mean, it'll be a vibe. I'll be here to manage that vibe.
Excited to see everybody come out.
Oh, I want to go on the roof and probably watch it. I'm really excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Reporting from Waco's hotspots for Lariat TV News, I'm Giera Cottingham. As the solar eclipse collides with Dia del Oso, there's no lack of opportunities for partying and having fun. But when it gets dark, LTVN's Macy Krause tells you how you can take the proper precautions.
Just 4 minutes this Monday, U.S. residents will share the collective darkness when the moon covers the sun.
The eclipse is a very unique experience, especially the total solar eclipse. In the middle of the day, it's gonna get really, really dark. We will be able to see planets, the planets that are obscured by the sun's brightness right now, and we will be able to see even bright stars.
We're now at the peak of an 11-year-old solar cycle, and the sun's activity is very high. Endel says the last thing you'll see before the eclipse is a diamond ring, the last blast of light coming from the sun, and then it's completely dark. How can students prepare for the big day of Dia colliding with the solar eclipse? The number one is to avoid looking at the sun and wear those protective glasses, and the Waco and Baylor Emergency Center will always be on call.
We've been planning for it for a very long time, so I think a lot of us around here are ready to just kind of face the issue and take it on headlong, because it really is going to be an interesting event.
Endel says it's a powerful experience, so watch out for nature because anything but natural will happen. The temperatures will drop, cicadas will buzz, and your pets may act unusually.
I don't think really anyone understands or knows like what kind of craziness it is going to be here, because every day 5 o'clock traffic, Waco's crazy.
If you don't need to be out and about on the roads on Monday, we would advise you not to be. People who come to visit us to enjoy their time here in Waco, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure people enjoy it and stay safe.
Get your wristband at the Deloso and don't stare directly in the sun. For Lariat TV News, I'm Macy Krause.
If you were on campus Thursday afternoon, you might have heard bells ringing out familiar sun-themed tunes from the top of Patton F. Put on by the School of Music and played by Baylor's carillionaire Lynette Geary, you may have recognized tunes like Another Day of Sun from La La Land and Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles.
This was a really fun opportunity to do something a little bit different, take advantage of the solar eclipse and do some sun-themed music. So I know that she thought through lots of fun music that's been written about the sun, and there's a lot of great options to choose from. So she put together this program of music that would be just kind of fun to share and celebrate the solar eclipse in a more musical way.
She's played to celebrate Black History Month and Women's History Month and decided to use her talent to celebrate the upcoming solar eclipse in a unique way.
Many Baylor students have small businesses, but only one pair is bringing a bite of New Jersey to Waco. Nate Panza and Levi Darrow are roommates turned business partners, and earlier this semester decided they wanted to bring authentic bagels to Baylor. After 3 years of what they called no quality bagels in Waco, the two teamed up and have been selling bagel breakfast sandwiches outside of their house. Students line up every Friday with the hope that they may get a taste of the East Coast deep in the heart of Texas.
Because we always wanted to bring it to Waco because we saw there's no market for it, and we found that it'd be like a good way to kind of make some passive income during the school year. So we are trying, especially now since it is getting bigger, to kind of maybe get a food truck, get a license in the future, and start selling at the farmer's market actually.
Up next, a poetry festival and one writer who stole the show.
And a nationally known podcaster will be teaching at Baylor next semester. We'll tell you who next. For 30 years, the Beale Poetry Festival has been a Baylor tradition featuring iconic events and special guests. The festival spanned over the last 3 days, including events ranging from student awards to panels. The Poetry Festival prides itself on having new speakers every year, but this year the director said they gave themselves a present for the 30th anniversary. Guest speaker Tracy K Smith. Director Sarah Ford went on to talk about what she loves most about the authenticity of the festival.
Just a master class in contemporary poetry. If you come to the Poetry Festival, you are hearing the best poets today read their work live, and often we only read their work in books like 100 years after they've lived.
One piece of literary work featured at the festival is Rising from the Ashes to Cultivate Creativity. Abby Ferguson tells you more about the Phoenix.
A row of tomatoes used to grow in my grandma's backyard. That's the first line in Baylor's 2024 edition of The Phoenix, a student-created literary magazine rich with undergraduate artistic work.
Oh, there's so much to see. Everything in it is so beautiful, and you can just tell piece to piece how much care went into writing it, how much care went into editing it.
The Phoenix has been operating for over 50 years. But this year, the editors said the overall theme leaned towards the hero's journey, and the work was more diverse. The magazine features a variety of work, including poetry, prose, music, and artwork. Contributors submitted their work for review in the fall, and submissions are reviewed by a student panel of editors. The final edition is featured at the Be All Poetry Festival each spring. This year's edition featured 23 contributors from 16 different majors.
My favorite part of this, honestly, is just I wouldn't have expected so many different majors to have such great creative projects. You kind of expect English and art departments to have poetry and art, but there have been a series of bioinformatics major, and she's the head of this magazine. We've had just such versatile majors submitting such incredible pieces. It's really cool to see.
You can pick up your own copy in the English department or follow the Phoenix Lit Mag on Instagram to stay up to date on submissions for the next edition. For Lariat TV News, I'm Abby Ferguson.
Regardless of how your days go, sometimes we all need to talk about our feelings and share them. Now one app claims to do just that. It's coming to Baylor's campus, and it's designed to help students take better care of each other while changing the culture of well-being. Neighborly wants to bring the motto of loving your neighbor as yourself to Baylor's campus.
With the name Neighborly comes from that scripture, love your neighbor as yourself. And so we're really trying to do that in a really fun social app format. Can we actually get people to be better neighbours towards each other, love on each other in a better way, do good towards each other in a better way? That's the goal and the heart of Neighborly.
The app gives students a space to talk about their feelings in a fun, interactive, and meaningful way. Come online for no more than 5 minutes a day to check in with each other's headspace. The app will launch during the last week of April.
The burdens are hot with a little over 1 month of school left. Baylor's law program hosted a tea time in Truett Seminary's ballroom for pre-law women to de-stress through what it might take to be a lawyer.
My challenge is that you live every day where you are also taking care of your spirit. Because when we try to run, and we don't take that moment to really just reflect on how am I doing, I just want to remind you that this is something that takes intentionality. It takes practice, and it takes reflection.
Alumni also spoke to undergraduates about their path and job indecisiveness post-law school, while emphasizing the importance of mental health through the tedious workloads of law practice and study.
She's a Baylor grad who turned her curiosity of crime cold cases into a nationwide podcast. Now she's bringing that expertise back to Waco to take students down that same enterprising path with a twist. Here's the story.
Have you ever had a story that you just can't get out of your head?
Baylor alum Claire Santamont said she has always had a passion for uncovering the truth.
Claire Santamont here, host of Final Days on Earth. Thanks so much for tuning in to my second season on the life and death of Jennifer Harris.
And after spending years working for CBS News, she decided to start her own true crime podcast.
Justice has not been served, and you don't know the full story. And that is what drives, my reporting. I want someone who believes that there's more to be uncovered.
For her, it's all about building relationships and the chance to work for herself.
I'm building this body of work that I will get to profit on over and over again, or at least the chance to, was very appealing to me.
Santamont encourages students to get into podcasting because she said nothing beats being in control and building your own brand.
And that's the thing about podcasting. It is still growing, moving, changing, and you have to be flexible and be willing to, try new things.
Santamont plans to teach a class at Baylor next semester where students will have the chance to follow in her footsteps. For Lariat TV News, I'm Danica Young.
Santamont says her class could also become a business venture. Students may be able to monetize their podcasts if they get enough downloads.
And Baylor women's basketball team fell short of cashing in on the Final Four. Sports is next.
Let there be light. Let there be roommates and teammates and strangers who become family. Let there be marching and cheering. Let there be challenging courses and time to share. Scholarship and championships. Let there be groundbreaking and soul-searching. Let there be laughter. Let there be joy. Let there be light.
Baylor softball is in the middle of conference action, and one player is stepping up in a big way.
In this LTV and exclusive interview, Claire Marie Scott talks to Taylor Strain about past challenges and her relationship with the team now.
Baylor softball's junior outfielder Taylor Strain has become one of the team's most valuable assets. But she has gone through challenges to get there, dislocating her shoulder on the second day of practice her freshman year.
I had the game taken away from me, and so really learning that early on, that like how quickly the game can be taken away from you, has just opened my eyes up to really just seeing the best in every day, coming with the energy, having a positive attitude, and just being so happy for my last few years here.
Because of COVID, Taylor's senior season for high school was cut short. Then she wasn't able to play for over a year while her shoulder healed.
I had so many doubts in my mind about like, oh my God, like, can I even play the same anymore? And I think just having my teammates back me up and just having all the support from the staff and, you know, God's timing, it was really rough, but he helped me through it. And so really I hit rock bottom and being able to put all my faith in him. And so looking back on it once again, like, I'm glad that it happened.
Fast forward to this season, she has been alternating leadoff hitting and has a .329 batting average, third best on the team.
So I feel like our team feeds off of the leadoff, and so being able to be that spark at the beginning of the game, if you get a hit first at bat and get on, like, that just starts the energy and sets the tone for the whole game.
With about half of the season left, softball is looking to improve in conference play, currently sitting at a 3-9 record within the Big 12.
It's all gas, no brakes. So we know that everything has to be on point. All the little things have to be mastered, and so we're working all those things out in practice every day.
You can catch Taylor and the rest of the team this weekend for a series versus Texas Tech. For Lariat TV News, I'm Claire Marie Scott.
After struggling early Tuesday night, baseball pushed past Houston Christian 13-5, marking their third win in a row. On the top of the first, HCU went yard, and the second added 2 more before Baylor evened the score. Another homer pushed the Huskies ahead for the next few innings. A surge of energy powered the Bears to score 10 runs in the 7th and 8th innings, and in total Baylor had 11 hits, 10 of those being RBI. On the defensive end, the Bears struck out a combined 12 batters, with Steven Sepulveda fanning 6 in a row. He's the first Bear to do that since 2007.
I was proud of our bullpen. I felt like after the first inning, we kind of, after the first couple innings, we kind of settled in there and really pitched the ball well. Made all the plays on defense, and then got enough going offensively. Had some big hits,
Last weekend, women's basketball season came to an end in Portland, and I was fortunate enough to cover the final game in person.
Nothing's withering in Waco. Nothing is withering in Waco. And we're going to do it our way, and it's going to be just as good. But nothing is withering, and we are not a first-tier team, and you can't say we are. You can't get to the Sweet 16 and take a #1 seed down to the wire in a one-possession game and say anything's withering in Waco.
Following 5-seeded Baylor women's basketball's narrow 74-70 loss to 1-seed USC in the Sweet 16, Coach Cullen and our team are already looking ahead to next season and are hoping this tournament experience manifests in an even deeper run next season.
Everybody's going to be looking to see how Baylor grows. We put everybody on alert. That was a great moment for us. I think, a lot of people grew in this game. We grew, but I think most of all, we put a lot of people on alert for next year.
Junior guard Jada Walker, who was dominant in the Bears' victory over Virginia Tech in the second round, had another solid outing, scoring 15 points and leading all players with 7 assists.
We can compete with anybody. I know we're the underdog. I know people don't pick us to win necessarily, but we're going to come out and fight, and we're going to keep continuing to try to upset whoever's put in front of us. So I'm really proud of our team and the way we played.
Hours before tip-off, the Washington Post published an article about former Baylor head coach Kim Mulkey. And in the article, the writer made an offhanded remark implying that Baylor women's basketball is not who they used to be and are trending downhill, something Coach Cullen did not take kindly to.
And there's a lot blooming. I'm going to say not withering. There's some stuff blooming in Waco. So if he wants to come do an article and come to Waco and write about it next year, he's welcome.
Juju Watkins and USC will now take on UConn and Paige Beckers in the Elite Eight on Monday. For Lariat TV News from the Moda Center in Portland, I'm Braden Murray. Spring football is in full swing, and the spring game is scheduled for Saturday, April 20th. Dave Aranda made notable changes to his staff during the offseason, including firing offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes and offensive line coach Eric Mateos, replacing them with Jake Spavital and Mason Miller, respectively. The 2021 Big 12 Championship Game MVP Blake Shapen transferred to Mississippi State. The Bears also lost 2 tight ends to the portal, Drake Dabney, who transferred to TCU, and Jake Roberts, who transferred to Oklahoma. Baylor had the 54th ranked recruiting class for 2024 and the 40th ranked transfer class, with the most significant being 4-star transfer quarterback Daquan Finn, who previously played 4 seasons at Toledo. That's all for sports this week. Remember to follow the Lariat for coverage of this weekend's baseball and softball series as both teams take the diamond in Waco. Back to you, ladies.
And that brings our newscast to a close this week. We're glad you joined us. Make sure to stick with the Lariat for the latest news on campus and around Waco.
And it's not just news. For the best Baylor sports coverage, keep it here. Until we see you again, have a great week, and as always, Sic 'em Bears.